Minglaba.
Hello, kamu pasti butuh apa?
Bewe bemo kochi kupelo.
My songka.
Tera belop lisi putu prehan.
Apa terare?
Abata suri.
Nila uge ko ade lo.
ဒီကနေ့ February လ27ရက်နေ့မှာကြာရောက်တဲ့အပြည်ပြည်ဆိုင်ရာမိခင်ဘာသာစကားနေ့ကိုကြိုဆိုကြောင်းဒီဗီဒီယိုလေးနဲ့ဂုဏ်ပြုမတန်တင်လိုက်ပါရရှင်
We stand united to honor, protect, and preserve the world linguistic heritage. Join us as we celebrate the power of diverse voices and honors us International Mother Language Day.
องตังสู้ลือ International Mother Language Day คิดฮือเป็นมาอันว่าในคักยังรักษาเลี้ยงในภาวค่ะนึ่มเฮเก้าปักสิกปีมึงปากีสถานออกแล่มึงปากีสถานตุกในลงปังซื่อห้องเงินมึนมากขอกวนอุรดูเป็นต้านกันผักษาวันมันสีตาเศร้าคือปังกะลีขาวอ่ำย้อนหักไส้ตื้อเป็นต้านกันข่าวใจตื้อขอกวนผักษาอุแม่ขาวเกรดแล่คิดฮือเป็นปัญหาปฏิบัติค่าก็คือเขียนเตแพ้ตะทุกิยาเยสีคินีลาบิวาริคิซิตโตพลาชูมูจูพุตภาเลมูทอปากีสถานแค่อีบังกลาเทศชิก่อนนี้ลิโตมูดากโตอกโลตุธามาตะเกอวบาโดตาดอเฮโลกุยตะตมูอามานีลอ
UNESCO Mado Latoi Lalola Sa Gnishita Tani Da Hako Sawila Mole Doyo Sa Munide Hako Tobe Ai Maya Toto Kotani
ခုနေရဆိုခဲဝေါ်ဤလောက်ခေါ်ယူတပဲခိုယိုခိလေခေဖို့မိုတယ်လေတဝဲနူတကယ်အခုလူစီအပူတမောလက်မယ်ဆိုခဲပင်းနူအပူဝတ်ဆော့မဲမဲပါနီကိုကကအစာဘောတယ်လက်မဲတူဝီဘောဝါနော်ဘူကိုဝကိုင်ဘရဆတ်တယ်ပတိဝဒမဲပါပဖိခလေပမကယံတခွားတငောပလပလပမဲပနာပတေပပမငောပပတွန်ပမကယံတခွားတငောปมันน่าเตะยังทว่าตังงอไหมปะพอปะกูไหมกันน่าเตะเล็ดยังทว่าตังงอเนอะฮะ
วัตถุปูรตุปูอาเจลัวดูเกอีว่าเปลือยหักคุยว่าเลจิเลลูปตารบารอว่ามานายีปตานีดูตาดูหายเมปตาโอรอปตาเอกีเฮกูสิบากิบชาบาเบรเฮมาแต่มือเพะลังงูตาจูนาเปเตปริดูเปเตมาเดียร์ฮีอากิสุเมโดนีเพิ่งมานี่รอตะเกนี้เป็นมือเพลายงู
ကိုယ့်ရဲ့မိခင်ဘာသာစကားကိုပြောရတာဂုဏ်ယူပါတယ်
We are proud to speak our mother language.
ปะมังเอาว่าก็ยังทว่าตังงอไหมปะตนอตะสู้ไล่ดอ
เลเตบากีมูดากโตอกโลหูตะคูดุมาลอ
มาโมลาดิวสับลอสิชิดูที่แบบนี้เป็นมือเพลายงูยี
ขนอเฮกูบาบาป้าอยู่เยเฮตอลิตอเตยีดู
Hiba o Mole Doyo Sami Ato Puto Puto Iya.
แต่ฮีแต่แท้ออมีวิเบยมูเตลิตะเวลอ
ลักจ๋าผักษาเศร้าคืออุแม่นายลีอากมอนเตคาออ
Aloha mai ka kou e nā hoa makamaka. Mai ka moku puni nui o ke ave a hiki ni i hau o ka hele lani. A me nā hoa puni ka honua. Velina mai me ke aloha. O wau no o Candace Kaleimamoowahinekapu Galla. He Hawaii a Pilipino au. E polo peka au ma ke kula nui o Kolume Pia Pelekania ma ka aina pono I o ka lahui maskuiam. O wau ke kahi o nā luna o UNESCO ma ka ho'ona o au pono ma waina o nā kaiaulu o lelo o iwi a me nā kaiaulu o lelo hapaiki e ko'u mau hoahana a o kou e launa puai. Mahalo no ke komo ana I keia ho'olaha nui a mākou. Warm greetings. My name is Candace Kaleimamoowahinekapu Galla and I'm Native Hawaiian and Filipino, a professor at the University of British Columbia on the ancestral lands of the Hunkamina Musqueam-speaking people. I'm one of the UNESCO Co-Chairs on Rights Education among Indigenous and non-dominant language communities with my colleagues whom you'll meet shortly. Thank you again for joining us for our lunch. We recognize that we are gathering from across the globe, some from lands that were never ceded and nations that are currently occupied. We acknowledge these lands and waters, the peoples who have stewarded them since time immemorial, and the more than human relations who continue to inspire us. It is their strength, fortitude, resilience, and wisdom that fuel our individual and collective commitments to promoting, nurturing, reclaiming, revitalizing, and sustaining Indigenous and non-dominant languages. As we come together in this shared space, we hold the spirit of International Mother Language Day and the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. These global commitments remind us that every language carries unique and valid knowledge systems, histories, and ways of being. They call on all of us to take action to ensure that these languages flourish for generations to come. Today's launch of our UNESCO chair is in alignment with these global movements. Mahalo, thank you for being a part of this important gathering and for the work each of you carries forward in your own communities and the communities you engage. Feel free to share where you're joining from, along with a warm greeting in your language in the chat. We'd also like to thank Anna Bellew and Amanda Holmes with the Endangered Languages Project and Marta Abalia Velez de Mendizabal and their team at Eco Interpreters. This virtual gathering would not be possible without their support and expertise. Mahalo. Over the next 60 minutes, you'll hear from some of our friends and colleagues who will shed some light on our respective UNESCO chair initiatives, followed by a Q&A section. Before we hear from them, we'd like to go over some housekeeping. This webinar is a place for people to gather in community and solidarity, share their knowledge, cultures, and languages, and find encouragement and inspiration. We ask everyone to interact with each other in a good way. Please be respectful, positive, and kind. We've included a link in the chat to our protocols. If you want to listen to the event in Spanish or French, click the global icon at the bottom of your screen if you're viewing from a computer. If you're on a phone or a tablet, click the 3 dots, click Interpretation, and choose the language you want to listen. If you have a question, please submit it via the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen and address your question to a particular speaker. The moderators will be browsing the chat as well and will pull relevant questions for the speakers. An information handout about our speakers with relevant links is also provided in the chat for you to download and view. I'd like to now turn it to Co-Chair Mary Encabo-Bischoff, Professor at Purdue University, Fort Wayne, who will share a few words.
Magandang gabi at umaga sa inyong lahat. Well, becoming a co-chair and a UNESCO chair means joining a global network of scholars and practitioners who care about education, peace, and human rights. For many, UNESCO is an unfamiliar international agency. Yet UNESCO has been instrumental in promoting and distributing knowledge about global education, the sciences, and the preservation of cultural heritage for over 80 years now. So we turn to a video message from UNESCO Assistant Director General of Education, Ms. Stefania Giannini.
Ladies and gentlemen, multilingualism is not a dream, is not an aspiration, is the reality we live within. As you all know, with over 7,000 more or less spoken or sign languages, multilingualism is our reality, our dimension. As a linguist myself and a professor of linguistics, I've devoted, let's say, much of my life and career to studying how languages shape the way we think, we communicate, and connect with one another. If I were to distill centuries of linguistic research, which is not an easy job, as you can imagine, into a simple sentence, I would say that language is the link, the unique link between human mind, the way we see the world, the way we perceive reality, and reality itself. It reflects both our innate capacity for communication, our need to communicate and stay together, and the shared frameworks through which society pass values, memories, sense of identity and belonging to. Yet millions of children around the world still lack access to education in the language they speak at home, in the language which is their mother tongue, in the language they feel their emotions. And this matters because our mother tongue is far more than a tool for communication. It's not by chance that we call it mother tongue. It's the voice of our interior life, inner life, the keeper of our stories. Let's say the pathway to understanding our place in the world, both at individual and community level. Well, that's why for indigenous and non-dominant language communities, it's so important that we valorize the power of language for keeping their knowledge, their sense of belonging to that community alive. Language is inseparable from history, knowledge systems, and ways of life. When these languages are marginalized, they are sidelined, communities are marginalized. And when they are protected and promoted, communities are empowered. Today, as we celebrate International Mother Language Day, we are really profoundly proud to launch the UNESCO Chair on Rights Education among Indigenous and Non-Dominant Language Communities. This new chair joins an incredibly unique community of 1,100 more or less chairs in the world and 50 networks across 130 countries. The UNESCO Chairs program is a flagship of this organization I have the honor and the pleasure to be part of. It plays a vital role in advancing UNESCO's mission by strengthening cooperation among researchers, universities, research institutions as well, but also building the bridge we need between academic world and society. Through teaching, through research, and through community engagement, these chairs serve as, let's say, the best tool to make our values, our ideals, a reality at country level, at community level. They turn principles into practice and action and knowledge into a common shared heritage. Through this new chair, UNESCO reaffirms its commitment to ensuring that every voice matters, every language counts. Let's work together, once again, all together, academics, policymakers, educators, communities, to uphold linguistic rights, human rights, and the well-being of indigenous and non-dominant language communities. Language is a human right. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Shannon Bischoff, and I'm also one of the co-chairs. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm excited to share an overview of several key initiatives housed under the UNESCO Chair, initiatives that reflect our commitment to Indigenous, Aboriginal, and non-dominant language rights, capacity building, and community-driven research and education. Before I start, I wish to thank the many people that supported our nomination, especially the UNESCO chairs who wrote letters of support and community members that have invited us to collaborate with them on this exciting, joyful, and occasionally challenging work. Our first initiative is the Endangered Language Fund UNESCO Traineeship for Indigenous Peoples. This program provides funded 2-month traineeships for Indigenous and non-dominant community members to work directly at UNESCO headquarters in Paris. Our first trainee, Sarojini, who is here with us today, completed her placement in 2025. Sarojini speaks the whole language and lives in Jharkhand, India. The traineeship offered her the opportunity to contribute to global language policy conversations while also strengthening her community's own language advocacy efforts. This year, we are proud to be sponsoring 2 additional Indigenous trainees, expanding the impact and reach of this partnership. We are thrilled to have Sarojini with us today to share her story. Next, I am pleased to highlight the Indigenous Language Rights and Realities Academic Journal, or ILR&R. Launched in 2025, ILR&R fills a critical gap by providing a publishing space that is led and shaped by Indigenous and non-dominant scholars, elders, speakers, learners, knowledge holders, and activists. The journal privileges community-led work guided by relational accountability in 4 R's: respect, relevance, reciprocity, and responsibility. Its mission is transformative, working to indigenize and decolonize academic publishing while honoring oral and signed traditions, strengthening community institutions, partnerships, and centering Indigenous languages and worldviews as valid, rigorous forms of knowledge. This journal plays an essential role in shifting how language-related research is produced, validated, and shared. The journal would not have come to fruition without the support of Raquel, who is with us today, and Editor-in-Chief of Language Documentation and Conservation, the sister journal of ILRNAR. Raquel will share more about this remarkable collaboration. We also collaborate on a major educational initiative, the MOOC, Indigenous Languages from Policy and Planning to Implementation and Assessment. This free course supports learners around the world in building both theoretical understanding and practical skills for language planning. It helps participants explore how to teach, transmit, and revitalize Indigenous, Aboriginal, and non-dominant languages across generations, in classrooms, communities, digital environments, and other contexts. The MOOC is designed for accessibility and real-world application, empowering communities to develop sustainable, culturally grounded language plans. Since its launch on International Mother Language Day in 2024, over 1,000 students have participated in the program from over 70 countries. We have one of those participants with us to share his experience with the course and its impact. Welcome, Jaime. Another core program is the English Language Partners program, which connects Purdue students and alumni with multilingual learners globally through free online English classes. Since 2020, ELP has supported Indigenous broadcasters in Southeast Asia, Indigenous and non-dominant universities in South America, human and linguistic rights activists, refugees, and working professionals across the world. It is not only a language learning program, but a platform for global relationship building, cross-cultural exchange, educational equity, and removing colonial elements in the teaching of English. The ELP has served nearly 2,000 students since its inception. Today, we have two of our tutors with us today, Zach and Lily. Finally, we are working with Indigenous and non-dominant, Finally, we are working with Indigenous and non-dominant communities, developing Indigenous, ethnic, and non-dominant community higher education institutions. These community-led initiatives focus on strengthening Indigenous and non-dominant institutions, supporting capacity building, and creating pathways for community-driven higher education models. By fostering collaboration between grassroots institutions and more dominant academic structures, the initiative aims to expand access, create sustainable infrastructures, and validate Indigenous and community-based approaches to higher learning. We have with us today a very special group of educators from Miramar partnering with us on these efforts. These are just a few of our projects. Together, they reflect our shared vision, a world where Indigenous and non-dominant peoples, their languages, and their knowledge systems thrive with equal presence, influence, and power. Through partnerships, research, education, and community-led action, we are working toward a more just, linguistically diverse, and culturally grounded future. Now, a short video from Dr. Ponyan Mon, Chancellor of the Mon National College, a partner institution. Let's go to the video.
Hello everyone, good day in Mon. I am Ponyan Mon, the Chancellor of Mon National College. I'm honored to participate in this important event. Our college was established in 2022. Since then, Dr. Shannon Bischoff and Mary Bischoff has been continuously supporting us. They are invaluable supporters. In December 2023 and in December 2024, they came to Sangkhlapuri, a small beautiful town in Thai-Myanmar border in Thailand. They facilitated workshop for our staff and faculty members. The workshop focused on strategic planning, strategic review, accreditation process, and administrative skills. This workshop have laid a great foundation for our institution growth. Through their support, our college has also signed a memorandum of understanding MOU with the Purdue University of Fort Wayne. This agreement opened up more opportunity for collaboration with Dr. Shannon and Mary. Additionally, the English Linguist Partners ELP program led by Mary Bischoff have greatly benefited our college by enhancing our English language skill of our students and staff while promoting interaction with international peers outside of Myanmar. Over the past 3 years, many of our students and staff have benefited from this program. We express our deep appreciation for invaluable contribution of Dr. Shannon and Mary Bischoff. Furthermore, congratulations are extended to both of them for being appointed as a co-chair of UNESCO on rights education among indigenous and non-dominant language community. The expertise and leadership are well suited for this important role. As the Mon people are among Myanmar indigenous people, this program is very important for our people and college. Our Mon language is classified by the UNESCO as a vulnerable language in the world. Therefore, one of our objectives establishing Mon National College is to promote our language and culture through higher education by offering a degree in Mon study, by partnering with other indigenous higher education institutions. We look forward to future collaboration with this UNESCO program under the leadership of Dr. Shannon Bischoff, Mary Bischoff, and with the other co-chair. We extend our best wishes to all 3 co-chairs in the new bureaus. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
And next, a short video from Sarojini Birua, our first ELF UNESCO trainee. Sarojini is with us today and will be here for the Q&A, but first this video.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarojini Birua and I belong to the Ho Indigenous community from Jharkhand, India. I would like to sincerely thank the Endangered Language Fund and UNESCO Chair on Rights Education among Indigenous and non-dominant language communities for giving me this opportunity to speak today. Being the first trainee of this program, it is not just an honor for me personally, but it is something that my entire community can feel proud of. So, for indigenous people like us, education and recognition are not merely an individual achievements, but they represent our visibility, our voice, and dignity. My mother tongue is Ho, an Afro-Asiatic language which is spoken by a small indigenous community in eastern India. Our language, which has been preserved mainly through oral traditions, but today, like many indigenous languages, Ho has been under pressure from dominant languages such as Hindi and English, and this has made many young people feel that their own language is less valuable. So this is why opportunities like this traineeship matter so much. Through the Endangered Language Fund and UNESCO Chair, I was able to connect my research with the real-world discussions about my language and community. For me, this traineeship was not just academic, it was emotional because I come from the second generation in my family to enter formal education. I would now like to share a short line in my mother tongue Ho. Johar, haga endo Mexico, bugitabu ol padauka, ondo disum rabu enutumbu baiye, which means Namaste, my fellow Hos, we will study well, work hard, and mark our path in the world. So programs like this, which give indigenous youth the confidence to say that my language matters, my community matters, and my knowledge matters. So none of this would have been possible without the support of the Endangered Language Fund. I truly believe that the UNESCO chairs such as this play a crucial role in creating spaces where Indigenous voices are not just studied, but also heard and respected. They build bridges between the communities and the institutions. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I hope that many more Indigenous students and community members will be able to benefit from such programs in the future. Once again, thank you for believing in me, and I'm truly proud to be part of this journey. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarojini. Next, a few words from Raquel Sapien regarding the relationship between ILR&R and language documentation and conservation. Raquel?
Thank you, Shannon. Buenas tardes, me llamo Raquel Sapien y soy profesora en la Universidad de Oklahoma en los Estados Unidos. También soy editora de las revistas LDNC y ILR&R. Hello, I'm Raquel Sapien, and I'm a professor at the University of Oklahoma. I'm also the editor of Language Documentation and Conservation, or LDNC, and Indigenous Language Rights and Realities, or ILR&R. So LDNC is an online, open access, peer-reviewed journal that's been published since 2007, and its focus is on topics related to language documentation and conservation, including more practical topics like grammar design and orthography development, as well as more theoretical issues like ethno-linguistic vitality and community collaborative methodologies. I became editor of the journal in 2022. And when I became editor, I didn't want to change what had been successful about the journal, which included a commitment to publishing scholarship on languages that had shifted out of regular use for a variety of reasons. But I did recognize that there might be gaps in what we were doing that could be strengthened. So in 2023, the associate editor, Brad McDonnell, and I held a listening session at the International Conference ICLDC, and we were told that there's a need among Indigenous and non-dominant scholars for publishing venues that did two things. One is to amplify Indigenous and non-dominant voices, and another was to publish work on issues that intersect with language, so things like policy and planning, education in all of its forms, not just formal schooling, and things like traditional knowledges. So LDNC had done this to a certain extent, but this wasn't the main thrust of the journal. Also, a majority of the scholarship published by LDNC was the work of dominant language scholars working with members of communities that were not their own. So not long after this session, Shannon approached me about maybe publishing a special volume that would center Indigenous and non-dominant scholarship. And we talked a lot about what this might look like. We realized together that there was the need for more than just a special volume, but maybe a whole publication, one that could be explicit about its focus on scholarship, not just about Indigenous and non-dominant languages, but that would amplify voices of scholars who were working with members of their own communities. We also realized it wasn't going to be just a one-off special volume publication of LDNC. Rather, we needed a whole new journal, or at least a section of the journal that could publish in a more ongoing way than a special volume would allow. Since Shannon had been working on Candace on some other related work, he suggested we approach her about editing the new section, and thankfully she said yes, probably not knowing what all she was getting into, but I'm grateful that she did say yes. So together, the three of us, along with help from the LDNC publication and editorial staff, an awesome web designer in Cedar Lake, and an editorial board of Indigenous and non-dominant scholars, we developed what became ILR&R. So exactly a year ago today, as a matter of fact, on International Mother Language Day 2025, we launched Indigenous Language Rights and Realities, a new section of LDNC. Candace and Shannon are the primary editors for this section, and it centers Indigenous and non-dominant perspectives and looks to amplify scholarship that has been largely de-emphasized in academia. The new section is structured a lot like LDNC, so there are regular articles that are published on a publish upon acceptance model, as well as special volumes on specific themes that are edited by guest editors. The journal section is published by the University of Hawaii Press and is archived in the UH Library's Scholar Space repository. This new section, ILR&R, focuses on disseminating work derived from ethical, community-led initiatives. It publishes work grounded in collaborative and accountable relationships embodying the 4 R's, that is, respect, relevance, reciprocity, and responsibility. Articles highlights the rights and realities of Indigenous and non-dominant peoples and all aspects of their language use across all domains of society, including home, community, school, work, government, online, and digital. ILR&R seeks to champion and celebrate revitalizing, reclaiming, relearning, renormalizing, and/or renewing of Indigenous and non-dominant languages. And I'm really grateful for the support of the Endangered Language Fund and for the opportunity for the journal to collaborate with this UNESCO chair in support of Indigenous and non-dominant languages. Thank you.
Mahalo, Raquel. We now turn to our next invited speaker, who will speak about the massive open online course, or MOOC, Indigenous Languages, from Planning and Policy to Implementation and Assessment. This MOOC was made possible through funding from UBC's Continuous Learning Advancement Fund, and we're sincerely grateful to the UBC team for their support. It is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Jaime Fabricio Mejia Mayorga, who is joining us from the southwest of the U.S. He'll offer his perspectives on the course and share insights from his work and community engagement.
Jaime Fabricio Mejia Mayorga Siyu, Sumu Orquídea Lucía Mayorga Amba Kumu, Sumu Luis Eduardo Mejia Amba Kui, El Corpus Mi Namapu Siyu, Nikupu Mankimi Siyu, Chorotega Siyu. Yo soy Jaime Fabricio Mejia Mayorga. Mi madre es Orquídea Lucía Mayorga. Mi padre es Luis Eduardo Mejía. Soy del pueblo del Corpus. Soy Manqui, soy Chorotega. I am Jaime Fabricio Mejia Mayorga. My mother is Orquídea Lucía Mayorga. My father is Luis Eduardo Mejía. I am from the town of El Corpus. I am Manqui. I am Chorotega. It is my pleasure to be here with you on this evening, but I know that some of you might see this in the morning or evening. I just introduced myself in Manqui Chorotega, the language of my ancestors, which is currently undergoing efforts of revitalization and reclamation, along with Spanish and English. And these are the languages that I use to learn, to work, and to teach across communities and regions. I am from Honduras, and I have been working with indigenous and non-dominant language communities for quite a while. And my work started in Honduras has extended across the Americas, as I have had the blessing and the opportunity to work with and for indigenous peoples across our beautiful continent. And because of this interest of mine, of supporting, of working with and for indigenous communities, indigenous peoples, I encountered the MOOC by UBC, Indigenous Languages from Policy and Planning to Implementation and Assessment, and I thought this would be a wonderful idea to strengthen those foundations that I already possess when it comes to supporting indigenous peoples, when it comes to language and literacy education. And these are my takeaways after having taken the course. The course can help you understand exactly how communities themselves, as well as the communities they interact with, understand language. And this understanding impacts language policy and planning. I can recall recess orientations about understanding how language can be a resource. And connected to my work, this has made me thought about indigenous multilingualism and multiliteracy development. The fact that we as indigenous peoples, even when we don't know, are multilingual. We speak 3 languages at least and are always willing to learn other languages, including our mother tongue. And some of us are relearning that language because of the legacies that colonialism and globalization have left us with. And also the fact that we end up developing multiliteracies, that is, traditions and cultural practices that can be considered literacies. Another takeaway that I had from this course is how supporting indigenous communities and non-dominant language communities, in this case, always has to be community-led, thoughtfully planned, and systematic. In my own case, I am currently working along with community members from my community in revitalizing and reclaiming the Manqui Chorotega language. And this is a language that has been dormant. Nonetheless, it remains with us through the names of places as well as the traditions, those literacies that sometimes we just call traditions or cultural practices. And so understanding that this work, when it comes to indigenous languages and non-dominant languages, has to be done in community, with community, and for the community is a lesson that I took away from the course. And lastly, understanding how each of these communities, indigenous communities and non-indigenous communities, non-dominant communities are working towards educational sovereignty. And each of these communities, our relatives, their challenges and their accomplishments, they're gonna look different. And so the course brought that awareness to me. For example, recalling what Candace said about being in the Southwest, right now I am interested in collaborating through an invitation with indigenous peoples in the Southwest of the United States in developing indigenous language and literacy education standards. And so once again, each community will have a different stage when it comes to this work. And having that awareness is something that I took away from this course. And so if you are interested in this kind of work, and if you want to strengthen or acquire those foundational skills to support indigenous and non-dominant language communities, I suggest and invite you to take the MOOC by UBC on indigenous languages from policy and planning to implementation and assessment. Taspu, gracias, thank you.
Mahalo, Jaime. And now I'm delighted to introduce a longtime friend, Darren McKinney, who is joining us from Australia. Darren serves as an advisory circle member for our journal section, Indigenous Language Rights and Realities. But here, he'll share insights into his work supporting Indigenous languages globally, including an overview of Pulima and a particular focus on the mid-decade efforts of the International Decade of Indigenous Languages.
Mahalo, aloha, and thank you very much for the introduction, Candace. And I think in some way, our friendship has been that long that I just used Hawaiian, but I would prefer to actually use the words from the language where I live, of course, which is a Wabakal. This is a language which has been at the foundation of my language journey over the last 25 years. And it's a language which actually hasn't been spoken for just on near 175 years, which has actually been part of my role and a very small group of people surrounding me in helping bring back a language which has not had breath until now. And it's something in a situation and a position which, of course, underpins our work, that we do not want to see anyone else in this position, even though it is happening. The efforts are paramount, especially as we continue to bring voice to our rights in every single way. And so in saying that, congratulations to our co-chairs for this launch here and for all of your efforts, which I'm sure are about to come. So kei ngārawa Darren, Wanakalawa. I'm a Gumare fella from Australia, land of the kangaroo, and it's always an honour to be playing a role and helping give voice. But even after 25 years of being in this space, being identified as an Aboriginal activist, and especially in this space of the International Decade of Indigenous language, that itself is never taken lightly, as we're always working to support and make others, more usually our elders, proud of everything that we do. So in saying that, I am the founding director of Miramar Aboriginal Language Centre. an organization which at the foundation of our work is about helping other people. And as such, we have in some way over the last 20 or so years there have had contact and sometimes now extremely long and deep relationships with near 900 plus languages around the world who have reached out asking for support in some way from what has started because of our efforts in bringing back this language of Awabakal. And that itself has formed the foundation of everything which we do. That itself has as well also underpins our role within the international decade space itself there. We've got this one opportunity where we actually do have the world spotlight on this, and we've got to do everything we can to keep that light glowing for as long as we can, because once this decade is over, it will disappear and it will move to something else. And we have to understand that that is actually not far away. We're about to approach the mid-decade point, and as such, something which started in Australia in 2007 and throughout its journey has always supported what is either happening locally or nationally within Australia, and now has actually turned to bringing international voice to our spaces, and that's the Pulima Indigenous Language event. In 2025, if you could pop that up on the screen there, Anna, would be great as well, if you could share the front page of that while I speak of it. In 2025, it placed continued to place a focus, not the video, the website, sorry. It continued to place a focus on our languages internationally, and as such there with international delegates. For that, we have continued with our role in the international decade space, and have just today launched the International Decade for Indigenous Languages website for Australia, which Anna will place the link in the chat for everyone. So everyone who clicks on that today will be the first people to actually view this worldwide, as we have only just put that live in the last hour or so this morning. But this website itself here, I hope you will come and visit, because we're actually giving a worldwide global invitation for everyone to come to Australia, to Darwin in the Northern Territory in sometime in 2027 at a date to be announced. And we will be doing everything we can to be a global event for celebrating and putting voice towards the mid-decade point for the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. As such, I would actually now ask Anna to be able to let's play this video and share what actually happened from 2025 from our delegates, our Aboriginal and Torres Strait, and also international delegates from all around the world, which did attend, and we had up to over 1,000 attend that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Nanda Kumba Kumba.
Well, thank you, Darren. I always think Australia has the best time. But anyways, we're going to head back to North America for a short while here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, with our two speakers. So Zach and Lily are tutors in our English Language Partners program. While this might seem like just another English language program, the heart of the program is rooted in serving language communities and a thoughtful consideration of the coexistence between dominant and non-dominant languages. So we prepare current and future English language teachers with the mindset and the ability to utilize multilingual approaches within English language classes to support the maintenance of learners' mother tongue. So Lily, I'm going to turn it over to you first, and then Zach will go right after.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be here and to be able to share just my small part in the impactful work that the PFW TENL program is doing with the English Language Partners program. Throughout my 6 semesters as an ELP tutor, I have had the pleasure of connecting with multilingual learners both online and in person. In my online creative writing class, which is on its 5th iteration this semester, I help students leverage their multilingualism and cultivate a new relationship with language. I found that experimenting with creative writing opens up avenues for meaningful self-expression and exploration beyond the academic contexts that many students are used to. While we have a lot of fun, the inherently vulnerable nature of creative writing often leads us deep into personal territory. And this has taught me the beating heart of our work. We come from thousands of miles apart, we speak different languages, and yet we find common ground in our shared humanity. Through our partnership with Catholic Charities, I have taught 2 semesters of English for Daily Living, and Zach and I are currently teaching a U.S. citizenship test prep course. There is something uniquely rewarding about engaging with one's local community. My role as a teacher is shaped by the learners who are relentlessly driven, courageous, and kind. We come together to learn English, but the breadth of what we learn from each other is not so easily defined. Every class, every semester, humbles me anew as I meet people whose lives have been fraught with struggles I have never known. I watch them pursue an uncertain future with hard-won resilience and stubborn optimism. Their belief in themselves and each other reinvigorates my own passion to make a positive difference in non-dominant language communities and empower them in their multilingualism to see their languages and communities and cultures as an asset. Every voice matters. We all have a part to play, and I am grateful for every opportunity that I have had to fulfill mine alongside inspiring world changers like Professor Encabo-Bischoff, Dr. Bischoff, and all of you here today. Thank you for your work and for allowing me to be a part of it.
And hello, everyone. I'm Zach. Happy International Mother Language Day. I have so many stories I wish I had the time to tell about the English Language Partners program, but I've decided to share something more recent that has occurred in Lily and I's United States citizenship class. Because if you had told me 2 months ago to find someone to teach a U.S. citizenship class, I would have run up and down campus looking for a very qualified individual knowledgeable in civics, never once thinking that it would be me co-teaching alongside Lily, who is extraordinary at what she does. So when the chairs asked me to co-teach with Lily, I was excited to try something new. And when we discussed protocols for ICE presence on campus, I understood why we had been chosen to co-teach together. Because we of this program have been trained for more than teaching lexicon and syntax. I've spent the past 2 years unlearning how harmful, learning how harmful dominant language ideologies have been and continue to be for my neighbors close and far. In this program, I've baked cookies with Japanese high schoolers over Zoom and listened to librarians in Thailand sing and hold up fruits that I've never seen before in my life. And these are the normal days in this program. The extraordinary moments are actually when things do not go exactly as planned. For the teachers in this room, I want you to think about a time a student has said something so earnestly that a part of your world, the walls we build using language in our heads, come crashing down. In my citizenship class this past week, such a moment happened. A student from Myanmar shared their story with us, They were a doctor who worked in Washington for 1 year until the newest administration cut their job. Now they are in Fort Wayne, Indiana, going through medical school a second time. And Lily and I have the joy of learning from this man and all the students in that room ways of being. And I cherish that privilege so much as a part of this program. And we teach the answers that we must for the naturalization test, that the Bill of Rights has 10 amendments, that we have figures we call the founding fathers, that our Constitution has basic rights, that articles precede nouns, and that a bold eagle and a bald eagle are not the same thing. Most importantly, we allow connection to happen, for inner walls to come down, for mother tongues to knit side by side a linguistic future that needs some mending. Thank you all who are here for doing that work so much. And I thank my co-teacher Lily again, and the co-chairs on rights education among Indigenous and non-dominant languages and communities. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lily and Zach, for your ongoing efforts in teaching your classes and for always being a good ambassador for Purdue Fort Wayne. So we're going to migrate again, this time to our partners in Southeast Asia, where our colleagues from the Myanmar Colleges Consortium and their 4 community-initiated educational institutions are located. 2 decades and counting have been invested in their communities in spite of the ongoing political turmoil in Myanmar. Their dedication and resilience continue to inspire and motivate us to not grow weary in doing good. Because we know it can be difficult to have a stable internet connection in Myanmar, we will be playing their recorded messages where they will introduce themselves and their colleges. So let's go to the first video.
Good morning. Yes, a slow morning with a good book and a fresh walk around the campus is a good start for me. Though our students and the school itself have to relocate multiple times, we feel blessed that we are in this enchanting place to start our learning community all over again. You can explore how it is thriving now with enthusiastic learners and passionate teachers.
I am Josephine and I am a member of the food committee. As a part of food committee, we are responsible for buying food supplies and preparing breakfast for all students every day. Although there were many different challenges, we learned valuable skills such as cooking, managing food supplies for the dormitory, and collaborating effectively with our teammates.
Hello, I'm Solomon, a member of the Water Management Committee at Levant College. In our committee, we are responsible for maintaining the pipeline and regular cleaning the water tank at the outlet to ensure a sufficient water supply. The pipeline are often damaged by animal, landslide, or sometimes accidentally by human.
At Levant College, we use generator and solar system to supply electricity to the office and classroom. Therefore, our team is responsible for managing the system to ensure there is no energy shortage.
Wake up, every day feels boring. The same thing, routine in the morning. Grew up too fast without warning. And when it rains, it's pouring. I got dreams, big dreams. I wanna do big things, but I just can't seem to put it all together. I just wanna be seen. I'm jumping ship, I'm a diving, middle of the ocean swimming to
everyone. My name is Sawinte. At school, we have class founded by students who share their common interests. I am a member of music club. We usually lead school events and often play guitar and sing together. Sometimes we also compose songs when we have free time and after class. Here is one of our practice sessions.
Hello, my name is Siwei, a student of Levala College, and I'm taking part in the English Conversation Club to enhance my English skills. And our club is a fun and welcoming space for students who want to improve and practice their spoken English. Through structured discussion and real-life topics and activities, our team members build confidence, expand vocabulary, and culture greater verbal communication. So join us to learn, share, and enjoy English together.
Alumni ဖွဲ့အနေနဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဒီနေ့ထဲမှာတော့ဒီကျောင်းပိတ်တဲ့ကလေးတွေတွေ့ပေါ့နော်နှစ်နေရာလောက်ဒီ summer program ကိုပြုလုပ်ခဲ့တယ်ပေါ့နော်နှစ်နေရာပေါင်းလိုက်လို့ရှင်တော့လူကြီး150ဝန်းကျင်လောက်ရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီ program ပြင်းပြဖို့တွေ့လာဒီ alumni မှာရှိတဲ့လူတချို့ရဲ့ထက်ဝင်လူတောင်းမှုနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကျောင်းသူကျောင်းသားတွေအတွက်ပြုလုပ်ခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်
Asona Sakuare, greeting from Myanmar. I'm Msote Potwa, President for Tonglia Community College. I'm honored to introduce our college's program. Welcome to Tonglia Community College. It's located in Pa'an, Kia State, southeastern Myanmar. We are committed to deliver quality education and shaping responsible young leaders for the future. Our mission is to empower the young people with the knowledge, skills, experience, and values to make a positive change in their own communities. Our program was established in 2011 as a 3-month English language course. In 2012, we launched our first 1.5-year program with 30 students to meet the student needs under the name of Tonglia Education Development Group, EGG Academy, founded by committed current scholarship alumni, aspiring youth leaders, visionary religious leaders, and socially engaged persons with a clear vision for educational transformation. Beginning with the second batch, the program was upgraded to 2 years to meet the student needs, and it was formally recognized as Diploma in Social and Development Study in 2021. Again, 2025, we were officially upgraded to Tonglia Community College. We are a member of college under Myanmar College Consortium, MCC. We annually recruit 32 to 33 students and achieving community recognition. At our college, we offer a 2-year Associate of Arts in Community Development designed to meet the community needs. Our approach emphasizes practical and experiential learning through core courses, training, workshop, guest speaker session, community service learning, research opportunity, cultural exchange, local student exchange, and learning exposure trip, preparing students for professional and career success. We aim not only to educate, but to equip students with leadership skills and confidence. Our campus is equipped with classroom, ICT room, and a mini library that supports student academic and research excellence. Students also benefit from support facility, residence, and extracurricular activities that enrich campus life. We prioritize student well-being, safety, and accessibility for a supportive learning environment. Student life at our campus is engaging with opportunity to participate in clubs, leadership initiative, community green market, community fun fairs, and sport competitions. These experiences foster student collaboration, creativity and confidence beyond the classroom. Our alumni have gone on to succeed in development organization, social entrepreneurship, public service, and higher education. Looking ahead, our college remain committed to continuous growth. We are expanding academic offerings, strengthening research initiatives, and building partnerships both locally and internationally. Our dedication to community engagement and sustainable development ensure we prepare future generations for the global challenges and opportunities. In closing, our college believes that education is a transformation. We warmly invite you to visit our campus, explore our programs, become part of our academic community. Together, let us shape a sustainable future.
Mingalaba, my name is Toong. I'm the founder and president of Cherimi College. It is a great honor to represent Cherimi College and to share our mission with you. Cherimi College is a community-based higher education institution committed to expanding access to quality learning for young people in Myanmar, especially those from rural and underserved communities. Our mission is simple but powerful: to educate with integrity, to build leadership with purpose, and to empower students to become agents of positive change in their communities. Cherimi College is also a member of the Myanmar Colleges Consortium. We believe education is not only about gaining knowledge, it is about transforming lives. It is about developing critical thinkers, ethical leaders, and responsible citizens who are ready to serve society with courage, compassion, and competence. At Cherimi College, we prepare students not only for employment, but for meaningful contribution. Through interdisciplinary learning, project-based education, and community engagement, our students develop practical skills in leadership, research, sustainable development, and social justice. They learn how to identify real community challenges and how to respond with solutions. In this journey, being part of UNESCO's CHAIR program is deeply meaningful. For us, this partnership is not simply recognition, it is connection to a global community that believes education and languages must build peace, strengthen human dignity, and promote sustainable development. It reminds us that even in difficult contexts, education can be a force for hope, resilience, and progress. Being linked to UNESCO's vision strengthens our credibility, inspires our students, and encourages our faculty to grow through research, innovation, and international collaboration. It also reinforces our responsibility to uphold academic excellence, equity, and ethical leadership. Cherimi College may be small in size, but we believe our impact can be significant. Because when young people from rural communities gain quality education, they do not only change their own futures, they transform the future of their families, their communities, and their country. Today, we stand proud to be part of UNESCO Chair Network, and we look forward to learning, sharing, and building together for a stronger education system, stronger communities, and a better future for the country. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, Mingalaba. My name is Noini Win, Dean and one of the founders of Panyadaga College. It is a great honor to join this meaningful celebration of International Mother Language Day and the launch of the UNESCO Chair on Rights Education among Indigenous and non-dominant language communities. I am very pleased to introduce Panyadaga College and share a little about our journey and future vision. Panyadaga College was founded in 2012 by 4 young people who were passionate about education and committed to creating positive change in their communities. We believed and we still believe that education empowers young people not only to improve their own lives, but also to serve society with responsibility and compassion. From the beginning, diversity and inclusion have been at the heart of who we are. Panyadaga College supports young people from many different backgrounds, especially across Kachin State, Sagaing region, Shan State, Kayah State, and Mandalay region. Our students come from diverse ethnic cities, religions, and language communities. Regardless of where they come from or what language they speak, we believe every young person deserves equal opportunity to learn, grow, and lead. We see diversity not as a challenge, but as a strength that enriches our learning community. At present, Vineyard College offers a 2-year associate degree in community development. Students study academic English, social sciences, research methodology, computer skills, social entrepreneurship, project management, community development, and other general education subjects. These programs are designed to build practical skills, critical thinking, and leadership capacity so students can work effectively in their communities. So far, our college has produced more than 440 alumni. Many are now contributing to community development, education, and social organizations across Myanmar. Looking ahead, Penyatga College is committed to continue growth and improvement. First of all, we plan to expand bachelor degree programs so students with diverse backgrounds and interests can continue higher education within our system. Second, we hope to establish additional campuses that provide short-term trainings and other academic and non-academic programs, especially in communities with diverse ethnic, linguistic, and religious backgrounds. Third, we are strengthening our quality assurance system to provide academic standards and institutional effectiveness. Fourth, we aim to create more opportunities for students, especially those from remote and underserved areas, to access higher education in non-government institutions. And finally, we will continue investing in staff capacity development, ensuring our educators and team members grow professionally and provide high-quality learning experiences. In conclusion, Penyatga College began as a small community initiative, but it has grown into an educational institution dedicated to empowering young people from diverse backgrounds to serve society. Guided by strong values, inclusive principles, and a clear vision for the future, we remain committed to nurturing leaders who respect diversity, uphold dignity, and create positive change in Myanmar.
And so thank you to all of the MCC leaders because they are here. And so you'll have a chance to ask them questions in the Q&A shortly. And to celebrate and formalize our collaboration, we're excited to announce that we will be signing an MOU with each of the institutions and the consortium. So we're really looking forward to this next step of our collaboration. So on to the fun part of the evening or morning. Hopefully you're still awake. If not, get a coffee or something to drink in the meantime. But we have some Q&A. We have some questions that some of you have already asked and some really good questions there. I don't know if Shannon or Candace, you want to start because there are a lot of research related questions and that have been asked.
Sure. I think there's a question, I believe it was in the chat. And the question was, is colonization something to fight in order to promote Native American languages such as Quechua, Aymara, and so on? And maybe I'll start off, and Shannon, Mary, any other presenters can definitely chime in. We know colonization has shaped the conditions that have endangered many indigenous languages across the world. And in that sense, language reclamation and revitalization is inherently connected to confronting the ongoing impacts of colonization. Whether we frame it, as fighting colonization or as something that's strengthening indigenous languages and communities, that really shapes how we move forward. Sometimes fighting can suggest a long and exhausting battle, and in many ways it is. But we can also be strategic and purposeful. We can focus on building, identifying and collaborating with people, institutions, communities who actively support indigenous language work and non-dominant language work. That includes but is not limited to educators, policymakers, curriculum developers, researchers, and most importantly, community people. And being strategic means aligning our skills and expertise to create tangible opportunities for language learning, for teacher preparation, curriculum development, and policy planning and implementation. And it means working at multiple levels, community-led and driven education, formal schooling systems, higher education, and public policy, and really all domains of life. So ultimately, promoting Indigenous languages is about advancing linguistic sovereignty, intergenerational language transmission, and community-defined futures. The work requires resilience, partnership, and long-term commitment, but it is also an act of renewal, creativity, and collective strength based on relational accountability.
I would just invite Jaime to contribute if he might have a response to the question about fighting colonialism.
Thank you. I hope I can give my answer well. I'm having a little bit of a hard day today with the flu, but I agree with Candace. Most of the time we think of this as a fight. And in some ways it is, as she said, but I say there's nothing to fight. There's more to celebrate. There's more to imagine. There's more to think of. And I'm thinking right now of Paulo Freire's synthesis of opposites, that sometimes two truths, right, or two realities, even though they are opposed to each other, they coexist. And it feels this is the same way, but it is about like building structure. And you're going to find the people, you're going to find the individuals like-minded, like all of us in here, who know that this is relevant work. And I personally, because this is what I have learned, this is work that also has spiritual connotations. And it is work that has connotations that have to do with well-being, not only personal, but community well-being. And when you think about that, you think about the fact that, wait a minute, maybe, as a friend says, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, because I get to be here in this present day, in this reality, remembering them, remembering myself, and making sure that what I have gotten from them, what I have gotten from the past, and what I can collect from the present can help me as I walk forward. And so it is not a fight, right? When you think about it that way, but it is a celebration, and it is an act of sovereignty. And I think that's a better way to think about it rather than fight, because now we are winners. We already won because we are here. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Jaime. This is a great question. Maybe Sarajini, did you have a response? We have such a great mix of folks from across the globe with different experiences. So maybe Sarajini, you might have a thought.
Okay, thank you for giving me opportunity to say. And I think we cannot actually fight against the whatever our history has been. So now I think because of the colonization, people are getting aware about their own mother tongue. And yes, we can also deconstruct our histories by writing it now, being a scholar. So I don't really see all this globalization or the colonization as a fight, but it actually gives us the opportunity to come ahead and again rewrite the history. That's it.
Thank you. And rewriting history is a wonderful opportunity. Mary, were you going to say something?
Well, I think we have 5 leaders here who have a thing or two to say about the struggles of colonization and the realities of that. So I don't know if Ellis, Brian, Thomas, if any of you in Ponyamon would also have just some insights, because the fact that you built up colleges, right, as a way to, provide for your communities a space to sustain your cultural heritage and languages, right? And you've been doing this for 2 decades or more. And for MNC, it's, you've just started and you had your recent graduation ceremony. So if any of you would like to just share a little bit about that question of what do you do in the midst of the reality, because you're all practitioners and we can theorize, but it's different when you have to actually work in practice. So, Ponyamon.
Thank you for to share our experience colonization educations. Yeah, as you have noted, Myanmar educations, the central education system is very colonizations. The government imposed only Myanmar language to study in higher educations. Mon languages are very civilized and languages in the old times. But right now, they are only minority languages in Myanmar. So even though we have pushed so hard for the government to adopt Mon language or Mon study in government university, even the basic education school, the government never allowed to ethnic languages to learn in the Myanmar government school. So finally, we made our own. So we founded our national education system, national education committee in 1970. We started with the Bimbo school from the Chanko, from the very remote area. We used the mother tongue-based education system, multilingual education system. So up to date, we have over 200 schools, including 4 high schools, 1 college. Now we have our own freedom to teach, and we have our own freedom for our children to learn our own language. So now we have National College. We just finished our first graduation, including Mon study with the associate degree. So Mon studies is only the program we have in the world at MNC. So if any of you would like to learn Mon language and Mon study, we are welcome to National College. Thank you.
I don't know if Ellis or anyone else from MCC would like to give some comments. If not, we'll move on to the next question. All right. Oh, Ellis, your hand's up. So,
yeah. In terms of the language, we always have like a dilemma question, like what to focus. For example, in our school, we would like to train students to be able to speak English and to be able to communicate with international community and for their work. But at the other hand, like there are many community promoting their own languages, like indigenous languages. So students also complain, like, what do we do in order to promote those things? Do we have a chance to talk? Because sometimes, like, since we have diverse ethnicity in school, when, like, for example, 2 or 3 students who have the same ethnic language, when they speak in their language, other people feel like exclusive. So like they said, like, should we have a rule not to speak? But on the other hand, there is a request that, is there any activity we can promote? So I think this opportunity in partnership with UNESCO Chair open up, like, what can we do in order to meet indigenous need? At the same time, like, to open up ourselves. So this was the very beginning for us to start promoting indigenous language. At the same time, we open ourselves to the communities. So it's lovely. Yeah, the video that we make in we show at the start of this program, it was opportunity for students who want to express, they can express. So I hope we can do many things in partnership with UNESCO Co-Chairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Shannon and I were talking. I said we'll hire your students because your students' abilities are sometimes better than our marketing team's abilities.
Okay, I will pass the message. Thank you.
I just want to pop in really quick. There have been a few questions about resources for working with Indigenous, non-dominant, and Aboriginal communities. I want to note that Darren's organization, Miramar, has developed some really important and useful tools, and he and his colleagues are working with communities across the globe on different kinds of revitalization projects, leveraging technology and other tools. So I'm not sure if Anna can pop the Miramar link into the box. And maybe Darren, do you want to share, take a moment to just share a little bit about the great work that you're doing at Miramar and some of the resources you've developed for communities?
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Shannon. Yeah, we're always doing everything we can. We understand that the efforts in doing even the simple things within our language require all the time funding to support us, but it's the one thing that we're always chasing and never seem to get enough of. But what's even more valuable is the time which we actually volunteer and put into our languages a lot of the time here. So we need to make sure that what we provide is from an Aboriginal Language Centre ourselves is something which is simple and easy and free. All of the languages which we support all around the world, we do so at no cost. We work 24/7. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, doing everything we can to help others. And I just popped in the chat there as an example. Just recently, we developed a relationship with an individual, Nabraj Lamar, who actually came to our Pulima conference in 2025 last year, and he's a Tamang speaker from Nepal. He lives in Kathmandu, came over and visited us, visited our center, and he knows that we are there to support him and all of his Tamang people. They are for every effort that they can to be able to do this work themselves. And that's one thing that we're extremely important about is that we just provide the tools and the methods. It's about, and because the doing needs to be done by the people themselves, not by others, not by outsiders, not by people who just drop in for a short period of time, then run away and we never see them again. And that's a right which we actually end up losing because those people always end up taking away knowledge, and sometimes they also take away our intellectual property and our rights, and we've got to protect all of that by doing this ourselves. So we're about keeping it all simple, keeping it all smart, and doing what we can to make sure that no one's disadvantaged in our little way that we can from Australia. So that forms the foundation of our lessons learnt. And like I said in my talk earlier, we've supported over 20 years now near 900 languages around the world in some way. Thank you.
Sarah Jeannie has something to say, and not sure if you can see her hand.
Yeah. Can I add something regarding the mother tongue? So in my place now, I belong from Jharkhand. So this is actually the tribal state, and even my place where I stay now, this is actually very multilingual and multicultural. And if we try to incorporate mother tongue based multilingual education in schools, so if I say in my area now, my language is dominant, and there that is indigenous, and there are non-dominant languages are also there. So if we try to incorporate MTB MLA education in schools, are we doing justice to other students? So in that scenario, what is the that alternative way so that the language which in schools should be used should be the like benefited to all, that no like not like all the learners should not feel that their language is been sidelined. So I'm like this has been like I have been thinking about from a very long time. In that scenario, like what is the other way to be like how we will document, or like what would be the teaching language in the classroom in that case? Okay, thank you.
That's a whole webinar series now we can do as part of UNESCO Chair, which I think we'll transition to that just because I'm checking the time here and we don't want to keep everyone too long, but there are so many great questions. And this is always a challenge with Q&A, is that you all ask great questions. There's never enough time to get through those. So I think my co-chairs and I will be planning a podcast series soon, answering those questions. Not to add to everyone's workload, but I think that way everybody feels heard and that we're answering their questions. Yeah, but Candace and Shannon, anything else to add before we close for the evening?
Just a quick thank you to all of our amazing partners, everyone that was here today, those that couldn't make it. We are very fortunate that we've been invited to join folks on their journeys, that we have skills that they allow us to use in different ways that are very exciting. So just thank you to everyone that's supporting us and helping us, and that could be here today. And thank you for all the participants that took time out of their day to listen to these wonderful stories. And best of luck. I think Jaime said it very nicely. We're already winners. We're already doing the work, and we will continue. So thank you. Candace?
Just mahalo anui loa. Thank you very much for joining us for our lunch, and we look forward to engaging you further over the next year or so, few years.
And quick shout out to Anna and Amanda behind the scenes. Anna and Amanda, thank you so much for making this possible at the Endangered Language Project. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. So we'll close then officially. If there is a message that you'd like to take with you from today, it's to love your language, to live that language, and to lead with that language. So until the next event, there is the info sheet with more information to take with you for links and things like that from today. And you heard all of the different initiatives. You can participate in any of that. And if you are in New York City, you can come see us at the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues on April 21st. So until next time, everyone, take care. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.